All right, guys, we're back, and here we go. It's map number 2, the Fundamentals versus iNTACT. iNTACT taking that first map on Mirage by a scoreline of 16-9. The leaders on the scoreboard for them were Shake 23-12, Turismo 22-14, and Spongy, again, he's up there, 22-11. Spongy, or actually Turismo, had the ADR lead at 93.3. Over on the Fundamentals, here's how you beat the Fundamentals in the playoffs. Since Clums is playing like his hair is on fire, you got to shut him down, and iNTACT did exactly that. They kept him to under 21 frags for the first time in the playoffs at 16, and here we go. Clum starting it off, getting the first frag, but Willmeister trades it back. That was near T spawn. So Spongy now at connector. But yeah, I mean, shutting down Clums really helped iNTACT out there, and Swan spots out Deco after coming out of connector. Swan and Spongy stacked up in Z connector. Now they're going to back off towards that B site, and it's a good move because, you know, you take out 2 members, you're forcing the Fundamentals to rotate back. You saw Bushmaster and Robbie on the radar rotate back towards A, leaving only Temperature on B. We'll see where iNTACT decides to go, though. They still have a lot of time to work their way around the map. Robbie waiting patiently on A, and iNTACT looks like they're actually going to go towards the B site, or Temperature's waiting to greet them. He's going to call out the rotate immediately with that smoke flying in, and here comes one at heaven for the Fundamentals as Bushmaster's getting lit up as Temperature just trying to find an angle here. Gets it on Spongy. Good initial frag. Spongy firing away, and he has a good angle to get another one. Robbie finds Swan. Temperature gets shaken. All of a sudden, things falling apart for iNTACT as they tried to get onto that B site. Willmeister will at least get the bomb plant since Fundamentals just can't close on him quickly enough. But he's probably going to go down. Finds one and does indeed fall. So $800 to add on to the $1,900, giving them $2,700 in the following round. But again, the Fundamentals getting off to a hot start at the beginning of this one. But like I said, having $2,700 in this next round added to your account gives you a little bit more to work with in the following round. iNTACT does like to force up, though, so it would not surprise me to see Swan going for the scout or something like that, but let's see what they decide to do. Looks like only P250s are going to come in here at the most. You have Shake buying up a couple. Oh my goodness, is that the second time in the match that a knife has resulted in damage early on in the round for iNTACT? A few misclicks. But in the end, we have a Deagle, 3 P250s, and a Glock bought up, with Shake having 2 flashbangs and the decoy. Interesting. We'll see how he uses that decoy grenade. Willmeister going in. He's going to find that frag, trading out as Robbie spots out Turismo. And M4 on the ground here in Canal. Bushmaster getting closed in on by Willmeister, who can... Yes, he will get the frag. Bushmaster falls. Temperature trying to respond. You're flicking back and forth. Finds all 3. Temperature to the rescue here for the Fundamentals. That could have fallen apart very quickly had Temperature not come in when he did. There were a couple of rifles on the ground for iNTACT to pick up and try to make a run for it. They could not, but still a little bit of damage done to the economy of the Fundamentals, who are going to have to settle for a couple of FAMASs here. 2 M4A4s and the MP9. Over on iNTACT, well, with all that money built up there from that bomb plant in round number 1, they have 4 AKs, an op, and almost full utility. Those 5 smokes will come into play on T side. Spongy throwing the flashbang, and he gets the wall bang! Through the wall with the AK spray down, all the way from Monster. Bushmaster falls. And there you have it. A spot that was once shown to Pasha Biceps by Olaf Meister. And it works out here for iNTACT. 2-0 for the Fundamentals. But iNTACT are trying to come back here. 5v4 in their favor. That's a good opening frag to get. They only have 1 member left on the A side, but the great thing about Overpass is those rotates can come in so quickly on the CT side. And there's so many different paths to get back and forth from each site that benefits both the CTs and the Ts. Overpass, a much more exciting map in my opinion than Mirage by far. Deco, going to spot out, or going to get spotting out Spongy. Now we have 4v4 Clums, and Temperature still on the A site. Clums gets lit down to 75 HP from the nade, then gets flashbang. Good flash thrown, good follow-up by Turismo, but Temperature there again. Can he stop the push by iNTACT for a 2nd consecutive round? Not to be. Willmeister spots him out, ends him, and now it's Deco and Robbie who remain standing, and they only have 53 HP combined. Make that 63 HP combined. Shake on the site as Swan Goes and guards long A. Look at this. Fundamentals looks like they're going to try and save their guns, and for good reason. I mean, their economy's been shot from that previous round, and now they're going to want to save up here. See, 2 members at $0. They will be able to buy up in the next round, but that's why these guns are so important. And the free rounds are over for the fundamentals, says Taz. Yes, indeed. iNTACT coming out with this round victory with the bomb explosion. And they still have 2 AKs and an op to bring over into that next round, and a decent amount of economy built up with those 3 guns being saved. They're going to want to get more, though, as they've picked up their first here on Overpass. So far in the season for Overpass, iNTACT is pretty dominant. 4-0, 2-0 in the regular season, 2-0 in the playoffs, and over these playoffs, they've only lost 11 rounds in those 2 maps. They are plus 39 in terms of rounds for and against on Overpass this season. Over on the fundamentals end, they're 0-1. They lost to Rain, who were just eliminated by iNTACT yesterday by a scoreline of 16-12, as turismo is going to walk in towards Canal, get the opening frag on Temperature, and look for more here and find it. Bushmaster falls to his hand as well. 5v3, Clums, Deco, and Robbie going to try and regroup on this B site. And you see Robbie just hiding behind a stack of planks here on default. And then a molly, good molly, thrown into pit. He's just going to have to retreat from here. Can't hold that angle anymore. Robbie firing away as the bomb gets planted. Post-spawn situation. Deco opens things up on the B site with the frag on Swan. That's the first frag, though, of the round for the fundamentals. turismo trades it back immediately. Deco falls. 4v2. turismo's 3 so far. Robbie comes out, Spongy ends him, and then turismo, the 4K, Clums his latest victim. iNTACT tied up at 2-2. Who won the first map? It was iNTACT. Oh, Taz is already beating me to it. I'm behind in the chat. I see Taz. He's on the ball. One of my mods on my channel. And really awesome guy overall, who's going to be able to give you a lot of information on the match when I'm not able to. So keep an eye on the messages he throws into that chat. 5th round of play here, guys. AWP for Swan, 3 AKs, and the MAC-10 for Shake. So Shake knows the economy is not good for the fundamentals, and he's going to hope to get a few anti-eco frags and build up his own economy. Where is Shake? Look at him go. All the way down long A, and he's being very aggressive with this, and for good reason. Like I said, he knows what's up. He gets that frag on Deco. Whose map pick is this? This is iNTACT's map pick. The first map pick goes to the higher seed, and the second one goes to the lower seed. And I mean lower, well, that's kind of confusing when you say it that way. Anyway, iNTACT is number 2, so they get the second pick. Bushmaster is going to get a nice USPS headshot on Shake, but only gets the MAC-10. So Shake took the chance to the MAC-10, knowing if he drops it, it's not too big of a deal, as opposed to an AK going down. And looks like, unless things change dramatically, iNTACT's going to pick up this 5th round. Bomb taken away. And Willmeister is just peeking around to make sure that no one tries to get the upper hand on him. Clums is trying to push up aggressively here and maybe go for a couple of exit frags. He finds one. Willmeister falls. And Clums might back off from the bomb and then run to the site to pick up the AK after the bomb explodes. turismo spots a Bushmaster, and here we go. I think they're going to try and get to that site and pick up a gun before time runs out, but they can't. iNTACT up 3-2 now. Heading into round number 6. 4 AKs and an op for iNTACT. Same old there. The fundamentals do not have an op in hand. Not enough money to get it. 4 M4A4s and an M4A1S. Clumps favoring the M4A1S throughout the playoffs so far. And it has served him well, but like I mentioned, at the end of Mirage, it kind of failed him. Anyway, Clums going to get the headshot on turismo and then falls back. That's a good initial frag. A little bit of aggression by the fundamentals at long A. They back off wisely and take the man advantage with them. This is nice by iNTACT. They're already pushed up and they're waiting for the fundamentals to come back to the A site. Good flashbang thrown by the fundamentals, try to get back into this site. They're spraying back and forth. Shake goes down to 71. Temperature rotating over from B. And the fundamentals actually have iNTACT pinched in a little bit over on A. Clums could do a lot of damage if the timing is right. No, it isn't. Swan, too quick on that trigger finger with the AWP. Now makes it a 4v4. iNTACT, regrouping. And now headed back towards long A. Deco. Willmeister defending long A effectively, then goes down to Shake, though 3v2. Shake takes a lot of damage in the engagement, 21 HP. That's a good hold by Deco at A. Will it be enough, though? Spongy coming out with the headshot on Temperature. 2v2 now, and Spongy looking for more, but can't get it. Robbie jumping around, also spots out Shake, and with 23 seconds left, Shake's going to have to hightail it over to the B site to try and get this plant. No one is there, so he can certainly find it. Gives away his position and his intent with the molly, and they're going to rotate around pretty quickly to this B site. Shake will have time to get this down. Now we'll see what he does with it op. Not a usual weapon for him. Sees Bushmaster coming around the corner, jiggle peeking, and does not peek fast enough, but Robbie ends the round. Nice little spray down on Shake. Shake did everything he could there and did a lot of damage to the economy of the fundamentals, leaving only Robbie standing, and also helps his team out with an extra $800 added onto the loss bonus that's coming up here. So, yeah, look at that. Turismo, 11K. He can even help out Willmeister to get a rifle in hand. So we're heading into round number 7, still all tied up, and the first halves so far of both matches have been very close. Match going to be paused here. First half was 9-6 in favor of the fundamentals on Mirage, and then everything just went awry for them in the second half. They didn't get a single round. iNTACT won 10 in a row in the second half Mirage and just completely dominated from beginning to end when that half started. Time for a reset, says Two Spaces. Yep. Just gotta take their time, talk things over, and get back into this one. The fundamentals, are they forcing up? Yeah, the fundamentals going for a force up here. UMP45, MP9, P250, and 2 M4A4s will be bought up on their end. The only one above the 500 mark here is Temperature at 7-3. And to note, in the previous map, the only one who finished above 500 was Deco at 21-18 and 95.3 ADRs. That's a pretty strong performance on that map. It just was not enough, especially in that second half. Anyway, Swan coming out into construction here. A couple of flashbangs thrown by iNTACT and one by the fundamentals. Bushmaster and Robbie playing pretty aggressively in construction, and it works out for them that time. I thought Swan would have been able to connect on that when he did get the first shot off, but just barely missed. Robbie has a chance to get the frag on Spongy, but Spongy comes out just a tad quicker and also gets his teammate as well. So Spongy by himself gets the man advantage in favor of his squad, 4v3. And now iNTACT can take their time with 108 remaining on the clock. Turismo almost spots out Clums, but just cannot pull his crosshair down quickly enough. And Clums ends him. 3v3. Shake. Charging forward toward Canal. Temperature and Deco to deal with on this B site. And Temperature misses a shot, then handily goes down to Shake, who sprays him with the AK. Willmeister supports as Shake plants the bomb. Deco goes down, leaving only Clums standing. Clums in a 1v3. I don't think they know where he is. Oh, yeah, no. Shake's looking right towards here. It doesn't matter, though. Clums flicking around 1, 2, maybe 3 on Willmeister as well, but no! Just barely missing the clutch there is Clums. Willmeister ending him, getting his 7th frag of the match, but Clums almost waking up there to come back and give Fundamentals lead. In any case, iNTACT do take the lead themselves, 4-3 in their favor. If you hear Clums' name being called out more and more, you know that the fundamentals are going to start winning some rounds. iNTACT looking to get a 2nd consecutive round victory here. Deco peeking around from bathrooms. 2 Deagles, a 5.7, and 2 P250s bought up for the fundamentals. Clums pushing up aggressively here. Flicks around, finds one, but cannot get a second. Willmeister trades him out immediately. Willmeister's going to have to be careful here now as Deco's lurking very closely by. And now Deco's rotated around to long A, which will give Willmeister a bit of space to work with, unless Deco heads on back, which is what he's going to do. Deco waiting patiently in the bathrooms. And iNTACT's taking their time as well, kind of scattered around A. Deco's got a lot of information just by peeking around Spots out 2 iNTACT members. Willmeister pushes up, tags him for 35 damage. And Deco going to have to be careful, Willmeister. Pushing up, and he will not make a mistake there. No damage taken by Willmeister in the engagement. And now all 3 members of the Fundamentals are going to be forced to rotate over to that A site as they're expecting iNTACT to charge forward. Bushmaster on the season. Bushmaster had 136 frags for iNTACT and a 1.08 KDR. Led the charge in terms of headshot percentage with 25.5. We'll see if he can get those headshots with the Deagle. Bushmaster firing away through the wall. Spongy down to 90, but Spongy is going to peek around, drop him, and Robbie is going to fall as well after finding one on Swan. Almost ran out of time to get that bomb planted. iNTACT Temperature doing some more damage to the economy of iNTACT. 3 members of iNTACT fall, and with the economy not too well built up, that's going to cost them, and it could help the Fundamentals in the latter rounds if they're able to come back in this one and get a few more round victories. So the first one to hit 10 frags on this map is Willmeister, 10 and 5. In second, Turismo and Spongy tied with 6 frags. And third, Shakesilla. Over on the Fundamentals, it's Temperature leading the charge, 8 and 5, Clum 7 and 6, and Robbie 6 and 4. You see iNTACT leaning towards this A site now. They have 1 lurk over at B. That's Spongy. Spongy taking on the role of Optimus as the lurk when he replaced him. Doing quite a good job at it. Saw Clums trying to sneak in on the flank. It's pretty much a full save here for the Fundamentals, barring a few pistol buys, 2 P250s and a CZ. Now the Fundamentals leaning towards B. 3 members stacked up there. In the chat, Chroma saying Swan's been a little quiet tonight. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, he's not getting 3-4 Ks, but still on Mirage, he was coming in the clutch at the key moments and getting those op frags. So far, quiet on Overpass, though. With only 2 frags, Willmeister walks in and just cleans up Robbie, taking his head right off. Swan going to get the plant on default, and iNTACT just rolling along in this round. When do you guys think another operation will come, says 2 Spaces in the chat. I don't know. Probably next year at this point, because Valve's going to be headed on their Christmas vacation, and I doubt they're going to release an operation before doing so. There just wouldn't be anyone to support it. As Turismo gets the headshot on Deco, just trying to hunt down the last 3 Fundamentals members, leaving only 2, Temperature and Bushmaster. When TL wins a major, so never. That's pretty savage. Beavis. Anyway, bomb's going to explode. iNTACT going to pick up their 6th round victory, and they are now up 6-3 on Overpass. Overpass is a map that iNTACT is extremely strong on, and has been since the playoffs last season, where they defeated Schism 16-5, and then won against GT Academy 16-2, so only lost 7 rounds on Overpass in the playoffs last season. And they continue to roll along on this map here. I'd say Overpass is iNTACT's 2nd strongest map, Nuke being their best. Bushmaster getting ready to throw a pop flash in towards Canal. Not really the angle he wanted to throw it at, but in any case, Turismo, Swan, Willmeister, Shake, everyone on iNTACT headed towards Monster. Buy-up coming in from the Fundamentals. They don't have much utility to work with, but do have 2 M4A4s, an M4A1S, and the double op setup. Only flashbangs left, the last smoke just used towards Monster. Clums gonna get the opening frag across the map over on Spongy, who was lurking around. Actually, Spongy had the bomb in hand, so now Clums, I can't speak, but Spongy was not on the other side of the map, actually on the flank, trying to rotate back towards that A site, and Clums has a lot of control right now. Going to get the 2nd on Turismo. Looking for the 3rd. Shake does spot him out and end him. So 4v3. iNTACT's going to try and force Easter. That's a great flashbang thrown. Willmeister follows it up with the frag on Bushmaster and falls back. So the Fundamentals, with 2 members left on the B site, won't really have to rotate anyone around, but you see Robbie getting a little bit antsy on that A site, wants to help out his team and doesn't want them to fall. And now he's going to watch Connector to see if iNTACT's going to decide to charge in there. Nope, iNTACT's going in. No question about it. 20 seconds left. Deco is going to spot out Willmeister with the AWP. Gets a second on Swan, leaving only Shake standing, and he gets the 3-piece. Deco with the AWP does all the damage on the B site, and he's jumped up to 7 frags on the match, ending the run for iNTACT, and now giving the Fundamentals a 4th round victory. 10 rounds have expired, and we're headed into round number 11. iNTACT still enough money in the bank to buy up 4 AKs and the op once more. Not what iNTACT was hoping for when they went into that B site. It's not often you'll see them fall in such a manner, going 1v1 against an op 3 times. Usually the trade comes in immediately. But the Fundamentals, you've got to give them credit. They've been playing pretty hard so far in this match. Willmeister walks in, bunny hopping around to get through bathrooms, catch off Robbie, but Clums on the flank again. They have to watch out for him. He's done this to them several times, and now Bushmaster taking advantage of the chaos to get Willmeister. Bomb gets planted over on the A site. Molly's thrown out to try and prevent iNTACT from defending effectively. Bushmaster down to only 19 HP though, and Clums on the flank again. Clums! He must be stopped. 2 frags added on to his record in the round 3 for him overall, and Deco is now going to try and end Swan, and he does. Deco with the final frag. Clums was on that flank forever, and iNTACT was not watching it. Fundamentals pick up a 2nd round victory in a row, 6-5 in favor of iNTACT. The Fundamentals, without a doubt, are giving iNTACT the hardest time in the playoffs so far. Match going to get paused here, guys. Let's check out that chat. Another easy tactical reset by iNTACT incoming, says Amir. I don't know about that. Obviously didn't happen. They can try again, says 2 spaces. Indeed. As we're just waiting for the match pause to end here, guys. Let's check out that scoreboard and see what's up. Willmeister at the top, 13-7. He's no stranger to being up there. On the season, since he joined iNTACT, he had 126 frags, 21 frags per match, 96.3 ADR, and a KDR of 1.68. He's just been unbelievable, and that's really even more impressive because Willmeister did not play in Season 28. He skipped the season, took some time off to focus on other things, came back to CS, and it's like he was never gone. 2 MDL seasons also under Willmeister's belt. iNTACT. Match pause ended. And they're going to restart here with 2 AKs, an op, a Galil, and a MAC-10. So they're forcing up. Loss bonus will be 2,400 if they lose this round. Deco. Locked on over at long aim with that AWP. And Swan's going to challenge. We'll see who wins the op versus op duel this time. What a flick again. Swan is so good at that. And he just looks up, fires, and makes no mistake of it. Deco falls. 5v4. Temperature. Waiting on the B site with Bushmaster and Robbie. Willmeister is going to be charging up from construction here. 5 iNTACT members leaning towards the B site. Turismo fires through, lights up Robbie down to 57 HP, but Robbie escapes with his life to see perhaps another frag. Shake coming up here, looking for the entry frag, gets 2 of them. Temperature and Robbie go down. Bushmaster responds for 2 of his own, but Swan to the rescue. 2nd on the round. Bushmaster falls, leaving only Clums, who's again trying to come up on the flank, and he does it successfully. Turismo falls. Swan and Shake still standing, and Shake does manage to spray down Clums, but he did damage to Swan and Shake coming out from Monster. Swan and Shake are the only 2 players that iNTACT needed in that round. All 5 frags combined amongst them. 7-5 for iNTACT, and now the economy reset on the Fundamentals side. They will be able to buy up some pistols here and some armor. Like there's going to be some Deagles, P250s mixed in there, and a 5.7 for Temperature. You don't see the 5.7 often, but Temperature likes it, and he's been doing well with it. Spongy throws that HE grenade in towards Canal. And Turismo's trying to hunt down some information over at Party. Turismo headshots Clums, and it looks like the Fundamentals actually opted not to really buy any armor at all except for temperature. So just the pistols, a 5.7, P250, and a Deagle. Deco watching from connector here with 1:19 remaining on the clock. 3 iNTACT members charging forward at long A. And they're going to try and clear out bathrooms. So maybe a pincer attack going to be coming in from iNTACT from short A and long A, along with bathrooms. They have 2 members of the Fundamentals to deal with stacked up inside a connector. And Bushmaster winning on the flank, tried to get something done, but Spongy was waiting for it and makes no mistake. Turismo going to spot out 2. Both of those members, like I mentioned, in connector go down, leaving only Robbie standing, and Robbie's going to get spotted out, sprayed down to 20, picks up the AK, so a chance for him with that molly coming out. He's going to have to be forced to go in towards Playground, giving Shake a chance to close the angle. Robbie waiting for the molly to come out. Robbie comes out and does not get anything done. Shake does indeed find the final frag. 8-5 for iNTACT, and they, with that, have secured the first half in terms of rounds 1. So, iNTACT, Turismo, and Shake joining Woolmeister in double-digit frag territory with 10 apiece after that round. 2 rounds remaining in this first half of play. And round number 14, and iNTACT again looking pretty strong. Fundamentals not too shabby on their end, of course. Another round victory wouldn't hurt in this first half. Molly going to be flying out at pillar from iNTACT. Kind of spread out across the map. Spongy watching the flank, lurking around. And you also have another lurk in Turismo. He's waiting for someone to try and push up from the flank, perhaps from Party. Temperature, Bushmaster, and Robbie waiting on the B side. iNTACT doesn't have the bomb in their possession. They've dropped it now around Monster. They're just trying to hunt down that opening frag to decide where they're going to end up hitting. Temperature priming the flashbang, and Clums now the one who's done the most damage for the Fundamentals on overpass gets another frag on Turismo. Swan coming back though, gets Robbie. Spongy gets a second on Clums, but Deco is the one who's going to do the damage for Fundamentals, at least momentarily, until Swan comes out, gets his third on the round, flicking around with that op. And Deco is going to be the last one standing. Oh no, this is not going well. Yep, Woolmeister easily gets the final frag of the round. iNTACT hit 9-5 in their favor. 15th and final round of play in this first half of action. And everyone from iNTACT chiming in this time around, which was the case, I shouldn't say this time around, it was on Mirage as well. You had 3 members very close in terms of frags, like I mentioned before. Shake 23, Turismo 22, and Spongy 22. The only difference this time around is that it's Woolmeister chiming in there. Spongy a little bit low on the scoreboard, but he's always doing something. Even if he's not getting the frags, he's contributing in other ways. 15th round of play. Force up from the Fundamentals. They have a Scout, 2 Deagles, an MP9, and a UMP 45. In the chat, I'm seeing 15-10 for Furia over Final Feature Gaming. Well, I mean, you can't say anything bad about Final Feature. They took a map off of Furia already. Even if they lose this one and lose the series, still, they've done a lot of damage. Clums with the 2 headshots, though, over at Long A, doing his best Swan impression with that Scout. Turismo and Woolmeister, excuse me, are going to go down. Swan, Shake, and Spongy going to have to regroup and grab that bomb. But Clums, where is he now? 16-11. More than double, or not more than double, double of the next person behind him on the scoreboard with 8. That's Temperature. You know, you say Woolmaster in the chat, guys, but honestly, I'll get back to my point in a moment. Deco facing off against Swan. How did Swan not see him? Deco hiding behind the stairs. Now Spongy's going to try and engage with him, get the trade. Almost had an op for an extended period of time there to Deco, but Spongy ends it quickly. 2v4, excuse me. And iNTACT was on the full buy with the Fundamentals on the force. They still can get this one with Shake and Spongy. They're going to have to open things up pretty quickly here on this A side with only 8 seconds left. Walking in. Clums goes down. Temperature still waiting at truck. Shake's gonna try and guard the planter, and he does successfully, at least that time. But no, Robbie threads the needle between the truck and default, gets the deagle frag, and the fundamentals come back to get a final round victory in that first half of action. Again, the same scoreline for opposite teams, though. Last time was 9-6 for the fundamentals. This time, 9-6 in favor of Intact heading into the second half of action. I'm JRT, guys. I do hope you're enjoying the cast so far, and if you are, I'd really appreciate a follow at JRTTV with 2 E's at the end on Twitter. That's in the top left-hand corner of your screen. And, of course, JRTTV without the 2 E's on Twitch. One day, guys, one day I'll be able to talk to Twitter and be like, hey, guys, can I just get JRTTV without the 2 E's at the end? For whatever reason, someone else used that name and got it banned. I don't know why. I don't know when. But like I said, maybe when I have like 300,000 followers, one can dream, right? I'll be able to talk to Twitter and be like, guys, come on. Give me this, please. All right. I have to pay respects for that plant, says Hardman. Yeah, that's a tough one. That was a nice shot by Robbie. You got to give him credit. Ned says, I'm enjoying your stream, but I don't enjoy losing. I'm guessing there were some bets made on the fundamentals, and that might not go well if Intact wins. It happens. You got to prepare yourself to lose some stuff if you're going to go and take that gamble. But anyway, here we go. Second half of action. Gonna be underway. Round number 16, guys. Intact already up 1-0 with the victory on Mirage by a scoreline of 16-9, looking to win it all here and head to the finals where they'll face off against one of Final Feature Gaming or Furia. That series is still going on. I think Furia may have won the second map, but Final Feature got the first one. The first map off of Furia this season. And it reminds me a lot of when Intact lost their first map of the season. They were 16-0 in main last season. And who won it against them? GT Academy came out with the first map against them on Cash in OT, 19-16 in Season 28. But here we go. Deco's taking a lot of damage here in the engagement with Willmeister. Turismo took his pistol out and got the frag on Deco, though. Turismo did damage to Willmeister in that engagement, just unintentionally, of course. 4v4, Intact still able to defend for the time being. The bomb rotating around to Z connector for the fundamentals. Turismo with Swan stacked up at sandbags, and Turismo just gets taken down a notch, but Swan responds immediately. So good responses and trades, at least in this pistol round for Intact, but the fundamentals really pressing hard. Swan looking to get another flick headshot on Robbie, and he gets it. Swan waking up for his squad here in the second half. Lisa started off, and Shake just fires away quite a few shots, but does indeed connect at the end of the day on Temperature's head. That leaves only Clums, who's been the threat here for the fundamentals throughout that first half. And maybe he'll be able to pull off this 1v3. Picks up the bomb, and Spongy is rotating around to the site to potentially engage here. He's going to hear the footsteps without a doubt. Knows exactly where Clums is, and he's going to go up on the flank. Misses his shot on the head, though, so Clums gets a second chance, but Spongy will not miss his. Intact pick up a 10th round victory. 10-6 in favor of Intact. And what on earth is going on in the chat? Oh my god, guys, please stop with the memes. Moderator, come in. Save me from this spam. Let's get back to the match, though. The fundamental's going to go on the Glock train here. 4 Glocks and a P250. They're just charging forward, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that Willmeister has given his team all that information, seeing them charging up from Fountain. Swan waiting for them to engage, close range, gets Bushmaster, then looking for another one. Doesn't get it. I think he thought he got Robbie because he turned away and Robbie was still standing. Robbie ends up trading him out, but Turismo is there to save the day, getting a couple, maybe a third. There it is, 3K, farming the anti-eco frags. Deco is going to be the last one standing in a 2v1, but Spongy, wow. The flicks are strong with this one. Spongy getting the headshot on Deco, and Intact picking up an 11th round victory. So far, the fundamentals have not picked up a round in any second half. If Intact wins out here, that'll just be really devastating for the fundamentals, just unable to really get things going after showing up pretty well in both first halves. So here they come. 5 AKs bought up. versus iNTACT's 3 MP9s, an AWP, and an M4A4. So Spongy and Willmeister upgrading. Turismo, Swan, and Shake going for the bonus round with those MP9s. Robbie going up party. And I like that Swan and Willmeister are stacked up here. Swan has that MP9 in hand. Oh, that Molly hits Temperature dead on, but he's not phased. Gets the headshot on Swan. And then spots out Turismo as well. 5v3. Clums does the damage on Willmeister, and this bonus round not going too well for iNTACT here. All 5 members of the Fundamentals still standing, and they will probably, unless things go horribly wrong, pick up their first round of the second half. They're rotating around to the B site. You still have Spongy to deal with that AWP. And he's on this B site, and if the Fundamentals end up heading there, he could flick around for a couple. Shake, sticking with the MP9. Could have probably gone to party and retrieved the M4A4 on the ground, but decides not to. Spongy. Is that a no-scope? Spongy no-scoping Clums on the flank. What a shot. Now he's the last one standing. Gonna have to get the ace to pull it off. There's a second. Shake falls. Spongy firing away, flashbanged, and no, he's not going to get it. Temperature takes him down, but what a no-scope. And then flicking around towards that B site to get a second. At least doing some damage to the economy of the Fundamentals before dropping down to the ground. 11-7 in favor of iNTACT. So the alternate opper for iNTACT. Rolling along on all cylinders as well. But iNTACT going to have to be on a save round now. A CZ, 2 P250s, and 2 Deagles. Over on the Fundamentals, 4 AKs, and an AWP. Bushmaster opens things up for the Fundamentals here with the frag on Shake. Looking for more on Willmeister. Willmeister got really aggressive on that one. Only did about 44 damage to Bushmaster. And now you can see Robbie over around mid trying to connect on something. Spongy does connect on Bushmaster with the Deagle, but it isn't a headshot, so Bushmaster survives with 15 HP. Fundamentals making a move towards the A site, using some smokes to get in there, guising their advance, and a molly at Dumpster. That molly's not going to do anything. It did not connect at all. Turismo firing away with the P250, gets one, but not two. Temperature does end him. Swan responds with one on Deco, so still a 2v3, and Swan has the AK now, and he almost caught out Temperature. Oh, that's a shame. Bushmaster comes in on the flank, at least a shame for iNTACT, and ends Swan. So Spongy, the last one standing with the Deagle. No defuse kit. I'm wondering if he's thinking about maybe going for a bit of a sneaky play after the Fundamentals try to leave the site. But without that kit, it's just very difficult to get a 10-second defuse, and Temperature waits patiently until Spongy pokes out his head. He gets 2, Bushmaster with 3, and the save round does not go iNTACT's way. 11-8 in their favor. And the Fundamentals making a run to tie this one up. Round number 5 of the second half. Round number 20 overall. And you're checking out the scoreboard here. A couple of members for the Fundamentals stepping up as well. Deco's been good all night long. But Clums is the one who's having a much better overpass than did Mirage. Temperature at 15 as well. Fundamentals send 3 members over to that A site, but Shake pushing up aggressively into Monster with the CZ, gets the headshot on Bushmaster, picks up the AK, says thank you very much, and heads back to the B site. So a quick 5v4 advantage for iNTACT, and that one rifle can be the difference maker. I'm surprised these Swan not maybe dropping it for Turismo, who has the body armor. We'll see if that happens eventually. Turismo more astute with the rifle. Temperature throws that molly in towards Dumpster, and that forces iNTACT to back off. And look at that. Willmeister fired so many shots off, and then Clum just ends him like it's nothing. Then he flicks around from Turismo, sprays through the wall, and gets Spongy as well. Clums is waking up, and that could spell trouble for iNTACT. Shakesell is the last one standing, and Clums gets the 4K. The Fundamentals have 9-round victories, 3 so far in the second half versus 2 for iNTACT. But now iNTACT is going to be on their buy round. 3 M4A4s, an AWP, and Turismo likely going to get the M4 as well. There it is. Over on the Fundamentals, 4 AKs and an AWP. We're even Steven in terms of hardware on both sides. May the best team win in round number 21. Shake going out towards this B site, priming his molly immediately to prevent that push coming in from Monster. And Temperature is going to have to be patient here with Bushmaster and wait for now the smoke to fade as well. So iNTACT trying to use that utility to deter the fundamentals from coming through. Maybe they'll throw a flashbang in to try and catch Shake off. Clums maybe thinking about it. 4 members now stacked in Monster with the Lurk Deco, who's headed towards Squeaky Door. Clums. And on construction, goes for the wall bang, but no one's there to receive it. iNTACT patiently waiting on both sites. They're very evenly spread out. Looks like a 2-1-2 here on A and B. And they're not overcommitting at all. Playing this very safely. Robbie spots out Shake's foot, does not connect on it. And I think Shake got Robbie down to 31 HP on that. Spongy, the star for iNTACT in the previous matchup against Rain, looking for some action here. Finds one on Robbie. Swan helps him out, getting Clums, who was trying to come in on the flank. Then Swan flicks around for a second on Bushmaster. Temperature responds with one on Turismo, but now it's up to Temperature and Deco in a 3v2 on the B side. Don't have bomb control. Swan gets a third, looking for the 4K now as Temperature pokes his head up from Canal. He's gonna find one on Spongy. Sprays down Swan as well. Temperature going for it, but he can't get it. Willmeister, who seems to be the one spoiling the day in the 1v1s again and again for iNTACT, does win the day. The fundamentals economy reset, but they will have enough built up to get AKs and an op once more. 12-9 in iNTACT's favor. Match gonna be paused, likely for the fundamentals to talk things over. 21 frags for Clums. He's back at the top of the scoreboard. 5 out of the 7 maps he's been there. And I guess you can make it 6 out of 8. So iNTACT coming into this one as the number 2 seed. And the fundamentals at number 6. If the fundamentals win, will be an upset technically. Bushmaster throwing the flashbang in. Swan's going to get the opening frag there. Over at Party on Clums. Willmeister pitches in. Look at the aggressive play by iNTACT. 2 members pinched up at Party and Long A. And the fundamentals just haven't really seen that all match long. And that's why they're struggling a bit to get their wits about them. Bushmaster, Deco, and Robbie going to regroup or try to. They're all spread out across the map, making 3 1v1s for iNTACT. Robbie does find one on Swan. Willmeister trades it back, and we have a 4v2. Bushmaster and Deco. Deco's going to go down to Shake, and there it is. Yeah, Shake just had a better angle, and Deco wasn't expecting it. Bushmaster is now the last one standing in a 4v1. I saw in the chat, where is it? Please stop yelling. I'm cringing a bit. And Bushmaster gets the frag on Spongy. If you came for a Comcast, if you came for someone who's just going to go, hey, he's going to get 3, and that's it, you're at the wrong place. I get excited over awesome plays, and it's going to happen pretty often. So if you don't want to hear that, you should probably leave. Just saying. 3v1, Bushmaster. Still trying to get something done, but iNTACT has full bomb control. Turismo has a good angle held here, and he's going to get that final one. 13-9 in favor of iNTACT. 4-round lead now, and the fundamentals just trying to break through into that double-digit round territory. Stuck at 9 here again. Lost the first one 16-9. iNTACT looking to get the second map victory and head on over to the finals that will be taking place on Sunday, I believe at 9:30 Eastern time. And Shake gonna throw that smoke in towards Monster. Fundamentals headed towards Z Connector. They're going to be greeted by Willmeister and Swan. Willmeister gets one, Swan gets the other. Swan looking for another one, but he can't get it. Temperature gets the 2K with the UMP-45, and iNTACT don't really have much in terms of hardware left except for Spongy's op, and Spongy's going to make it work over on A. 3v2. Turismo and Shake have the MP9s. Temperature has the AK, and Clums picks up the op off the ground, dropped by his teammates. So an op and an AK up against 2 MP9s and another op. 103 remaining. Bomb in the hands of the fundamentals, and that smoke thrown in towards bathrooms. Spongy does find that frag on Clums now, and it leaves it up to Temperature, who's going to have to pull off the ace to get the round victory here. Spongy, who's been really good with the secondary opper for iNTACT, stepping up on overpass. And Swan, who has picked up his game in the second half, getting some nice op frags as well. Was a bit quiet, as mentioned in the chat as well, in that first half. But 27 seconds left. Is Temperature just going to try and save this AK? No, he's slowly but surely creeping up here. And wow, I'm surprised he didn't try to go and plant that bomb at default. Spongy instead spots him out, gets the 3K, and iNTACT now up 14-9. In the chat, Gurr saying it looks like a double 16-9. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Still a lot of rounds we played, and the fundamentals have proven themselves resilient. They've pushed both matches they've played so far in the playoffs to 3 maps. And it wouldn't surprise me if they're able to come back and do it again here. Of course, iNTACT will be their toughest opponent, or is their toughest opponent so far. But I mentioned it a little earlier on. The fundamentals have experience at the semi-pro level. The one with the most is Clums. 82 matches in MDL before it was called MDL in Season 22. Robbie has 48. And Bushmaster has 21. 167 MDL matches played combined for the fundamentals. Let's keep it going here. Match pause ended. 14-9 for iNTACT. And Temperature going to prime this flash and get it ready to be thrown over at Fountain. There we go. They're charging in and trying to engage with Willmeister. Willmeister finds one, and Swan is again there to get a second one as well. Bushmaster responds for one of his own. 4v3 man advantage for iNTACT, and they're looking to secure a 15th round victory to make it 15-9 for a second consecutive map. Swan still alive, 17 HP with the op in hand, close range. Over at Bathrooms, the molly comes in to allow him to get into cover here in this corner. Only one molly left for FDM. Deco from long A spots out Spongy and makes no mistake of it. We have a 3v3 on our hands. iNTACT spread out. They are not in a position to get any trades if one of them falls. They're going to want to change that very soon. Deco and Bushmaster grouping up here at Bathrooms, letting Temperature take the charge into Z Connector. 50 seconds left. Turismo playing right next to the squeaky door, hoping that they won't look behind it once they open it up. Bushmaster getting ready to do exactly that. 39 seconds remaining. Turismo flicks around the corner. The door opens up. He gets one, then two, looking for the third, but cannot find it. Deco is going to end him, but Turismo did such a good job patiently waiting at that squeaky door for exactly that rotate to happen. And now it's a 2v1. Swan with 17 HP is at Z Connector. Shake only with the MP9 up against an AK. Trying to play this wisely at pit. A very good spot to hold on B side for a CT, and Shake gets it. Drops Deco to the ground. iNTACT have a 15-9 lead here. Again, 6 match points. Double op setup coming in for iNTACT now. Swan and Spongy rocking those who have been stars with it throughout this map. 2 M4A4s and an AK round out the buy for iNTACT. Over on the fundamentals, well, they have to force up whatever they can get. And it's going to be 3 AKs, a Deagle, a CZ, and a bit of utility, a couple of smokes to try and execute onto one of these sites. Bushmaster does open things up on B, getting Spongy with the AK. Fundamentals with their backs against the wall. A quick 5v4 to give them the slight edge. Temperature going up from Z Connector now, looking for some action. The bomb is by its lonesome and Monster. If someone pushes up here for iNTACT, which Turismo might be thinking about doing, and they get Deco, this round and match could be over. Willmeister, though, with the touchdown on Clums, the star for the fundamentals, does fall, and we're evened out at a 4v4. Oh, look at this flank. I want to get the Swan. He's coming in on the flank, and Monster. Deco doesn't even see him. Swan ends him. Bushmaster still doing some damage, gets Turismo, so it's a 3v3, and then they know that Swan is kind of isolated over at T-Spawn. And that is exactly why Temperature is pinching in here, but Swan knows that he's coming, gets the shot on him. Temperature goes down, and then just like that, Robbie falls to Swan as well. 3K for Swan. Willmeister gets the last one, and iNTACT again. Identical scoreline, 16-9, 16-9 in both maps. And that is going to be that.